we have the AC40 Rookies, and this class is where the riders start their racing careers. There's some new riders this weekend, and it's where they learn their trade and learn, well, how to race a bike, really, and what to do when you're racing a motorcycle and how to set faster lap times. And it's the start of friendships as well, because there's a lot of friendships in this paddock, and some of these riders will go, I can almost guarantee you, will go on to race with each other all the way up through the ranks, such as British Talent Cup. They just develop a friendship, and they're going through the same age range and then just the same championships and Fab works. I mean, it's perfect, and it's these types of classes which really are the start of these people's careers and at the start of fresh talent. And we've seen some great talents this year: Taylor Tomlinson, Sebastian GASLAWSKI. There's been some amazing races and some close races as well. And the racecraft, I think you'll agree with me here, Ross, but the racecraft with these 6-7-year-old riders is something else. And the fact that they're doing up to 45 mile per hour at 6-year-old is just, well, it's crazy.
Oh no, it is absolutely crazy. Yeah, I really don't know how to put it any better. You know, these riders, a lot of them, you know, this is their first racing experience. You know, it's, you know, they're coming in, you know, to FAB-Racing. Many of them, you know, they've done time on the bike, they've, you know, learned how to ride and whatnot, but they've never actually been in a race. And, you know, to get out there and just throw yourself in the deep end, it's such a competitive field as well that we see year on year here in the rookies. You know, it is fantastic to see. And of course, you know, this is the start of a racing career that you get to watch, and it's wonderful to watch, you know, these young riders get out there and learn, you know, showcase their talents and show what they can do. But you know, as well, it's a way to see, you know, maybe you know who the next thing is. You know, obviously, you know, the entirety of Fab is part of it is, you know, who's going to be who's going to be who, you know, moving on and moving up in the world of motorcycle racing. You know, this is the very beginning of that. And, you know, as you said, Taylor Tomlinson, you know, and a few of these riders as well. You know, you've got Seth HAYWARD is one that comes to mind. You know, these guys out there, that this is, you know, the beginning of their racing careers, potentially for them quite a successful racing career. You know, Taylor Tomlinson especially, he has been absolutely superb this season so far. You know, really strong performances all throughout the year, and you know, he's doing really well. He swept the first round at Lid. He took 2 wins and a second place at Clandau. Sebastian GASLAWSKI, as well as another rider who springs to mind. He took the other win so far this season. You know, those two are the two that spring to mind. But overall, we've got some fantastic riders out on this grid. And, you know, overall, it's great to see, you know, such interest from a young age, such talent from a young age, and it really shows that motorcycle racing has a very healthy future.
Yeah, it certainly does. And motorcycle racing in the UK has a very healthy future. And it's not just the families that will be watching this race, it's potential scouts even. I mean, we have the Visiontrack Racing Team Academy now that is able to bring riders all the way from Fab to the British Talent Cup, to Junior World Championship, and then to Moto 3, and it lets them get into the Grand Prix stage. It is, in my opinion, one of the best things that's happened to British motorcycle racing in the past 20-30 years. It finally gives these young riders hope and a realistic opportunity of making it to the Grand Prix stage, as well, numbers for UK riders have been lacking in the past couple seasons in Grand Prix. So it's these riders on your screen right now that are waiting to get underway in the warm-up lap that you will be seeing in the future on these big stages, on these big classes, on these very powerful motorcycles. But right now they're just learning their trade in these smaller, less powerful motorcycles. And yeah, the man on your screen right now, Taylor Tomlinson, he's been superb all year, as you've said. Every single round he's been there, he's been on the pace, and well, straight out the gate I think he's just been wanting to go away and run his own race, as because although, as we mentioned, this is a rookie class, there's a lot of differences in abilities and confidence, meaning that lap traffic can become quite a big thing in this class.
Yeah, it certainly can. You mentioned the Visiontrack Academy as well. While they don't get involved from, you know, as young as 6, let me tell you, they've spared no expense with what they've done in Fab so far, and I know that their operations within the Fab paddock will continue to expand in the future. But Taylor Tomlinson, that talent, as you mentioned, going from pole position. Kai HAWKEN starts alongside him, and it's Seth HAYWARD in P3 with Logan COUZENS in P4. There's well, unfortunately we don't have a grid on us at the moment, but it's a very tight field nonetheless. We've got a lot of riders showing up in this rookies class. As we mentioned as well earlier, we did a few interviews earlier, one of them with Holly Harris, who you may have seen earlier in the senior Minimoto qualifying. Well, you may be seeing those interviews tomorrow if you're watching along. But one of the things that myself and Holly talked about is female riders. Obviously, we've got this big push in motorsports in general to get more women involved in motorsports, and it is great to see we have a lot of young female riders in this rookies grid. It's great to see, FAB's always had a pretty decent female presence as far as motorcycle racing goes, but we've got a number of young, female riders on this grid, who are, very much talented. And it is really great to see that as they're coming around now to form up the grid. Taylor Tomlinson on pole once again. But can anybody challenge him? He's been on a bit of a winning streak so far this season. Can anybody stop the Taylor? Let's find out. The marshals, some of them parents talking to their kids for the final time. Last bits of advice. The flag marshal up the front. As we get ready, someone's already redlining the first of 3 races in this category. The first of 3 races this weekend. Who is going to be on top this time round? It's very warm out there and the heat is up. The tension is high. Let's see as we wait for the lights to come on. The flag marshal, the last checks being done by the parents, by the marshals as well. Maybe have a bit of a problem. A few riders pointing to the back. I can hear that someone is at full throttle already by the sounds of things to me. I'm not sure if that's just the wind or if that's oh no, there we go. Flag marshal maybe moving, maybe, who knows. We're I think we've still got a bit of a problem down the back of the grid, unfortunately. Yep, there we go. Seems like one of the riders had a problem on the formation lap. They've just come round now, so that seems to be all sorted as they slot into place on the grid. Let's find out what's going to happen in race 1 of the AC40 Rookies, the start of these young riders' motorcycle careers. And let's see if they can get this good race off to a good start as well. Flag marshal out the way. It's lights on. Lights off, we're underway. It's a fantastic start from Taylor Tomlinson from the pole position. Kai HAWKEN alongside him as well. Gets away well. Logan COUZENS in P3 maintaining, but up the inside there's someone lagging, unfortunately, into the first turn. But it is Taylor Tomlinson leading the way out of Degner 1, the first turn here at Ellough Park. It's a good start from him. It's all single filers to go, but a few moves further back in the pack. Down the inside there, one of the riders. But it is Taylor Tomlinson that leads the way once again with a great start.
Yeah, it certainly is. Taylor Tomlinson straight away off the line. He went for it, and he's got the dream start really. He's at front, and no one can challenge him. And can we see something similar to what we've seen in the past few rounds, where he's just got to the front and just went away with it? And there's a follower there in the first lap, but he's already back on the bike, and well, he's perfectly okay, so he's going to carry on for this race. But it's Taylor Tomlinson who still leads away from Tyler Hartley. Tyler Hartley made a great qualifying session, and one person who may be slightly disappointed is Sebastian GASLAWSKI. All year we've been seeing Sebastian and Taylor almost have this rivalry, and well, there's been nothing stopping them really all year. So Sebastian GASLAWSKI on the tail just got past Tyler Hartley in that last lap there. So will he be able to catch up? Taylor Tomlinson leads the way by just a second.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. These AC40 Rookies, 8 laps round here, 7 laps left to go. Tomlinson leading the way, but GASLAWSKI has managed to work his way up into the second place position. But Tyler Hartley still applying that pressure, as you can see on your screen, as he's looking to the outside using a lot of the road. Helps a bit unnecessarily through there. GASLAWSKI was just sitting pretty, not willing to let him through. And that is part of, the skill that these racers need to learn. It's defending. The so-called lost art of motorsport. It's one of the things that you definitely need to remember is to learn how to defend and learn how to race in general. And this is what this AC40 Rookies class is teaching these young riders. Taylor Tomlinson, their fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute dead, 0.057, so just over the 1 minute mark. Sebastian GASLAWSKI over a second down with his last lap, but of course he's fighting, he's trying to get his way through traffic. Fighting unfortunately costs you time. If you're Sebastian GASLAWSKI, you'll be seeing Taylor Tomlinson, the back end of Taylor Tomlinson, streaking off into the distance. As we've seen there, one of the riders taking a bit of a tumble, making his way back onto the circuit there as he gets through, and managed to slide back on that very luminously green bike. But there we see once again that fight for second place coming around the back end of the circuit through the Barney's hairpin. It's GASLAWSKI leading Hartley for P2. GASLAWSKI just sitting pretty, a quick check back behind him as he comes round the final hairpin. Mini Rossi there, so called because the corner opposite is called O Rossi, and it's basically a smaller version of it in the opposite direction. And now GASLAWSKI pulling a bit of a gap there. Taylor Tomlinson though, another fastest lap of 59.8, about 5/10 off of Finley Polehill's lap record set back in 2020. So the lap times again tumbling. We've seen one lap record broken today already. Taylor Tomlinson, maybe he fancies another as we have a red flag out here, unfortunately. So a red flag situation here at Ellough Park. All the riders will have to come to a stop at the nearest marshal post. Hopefully the race will get back underway shortly. But a red flag had an incident down in the one of the final corners down at the Wones hairpin. So there we'll see all the riders coming to a stop at the marshal post. Hopefully everyone is okay. As the red flag, you can see, just for confirmation, if the red flag graphic at the side of your screen wasn't enough confirmation, see the marshal waving the red flag as well. Of course, if you're new to motorsport, that means that the session is suspended. The race is stopped in its tracks, either through an incident or for weather, as we just have to stay for the time being where they are, the riders, just so we can clear up the incident. Hopefully everyone is okay. But there we're seeing once again Lewis Taylor Tomlinson stamping his foot down, showing everyone what that young man can do. A 59.884 was the last lap that he set before the red flag came out, and he was looking very pacey. Pulled the gap to 3.5 seconds on Sebastian GASLAWSKI. Again, Taylor Tomlinson, he's had 5 race wins out of 6 so far this season. I think he was looking to make it 6 out of 7 in that one.
We're seconds away from finding out, will Taylor Tomlinson be able to make that incredible start where straight away he was about 2 tenths ahead of everyone else? So will he be able to do it? We don't know, we're going to have to wait and see, but Tyler Hartley will certainly be wanting a better start, and whenever these riders go off you'll see them kick. It's because these bikes have so little power that the best way to start is literally run with them. But talking about getting off the grid, the marshals getting off the grid, the lights are on, the lights are off. That was a very quick light sequence, and Taylor Tomlinson leads the way. He's made the best start, and Sebastian GASLAWSKI straight away is in second place. Can he straight away make a move on Taylor Tomlinson? He's looking around the outside, but he cannot find a way past. That's such a tricky place to try and overtake, even in the inside, never mind the outside. But Taylor Tomlinson leads the way. Tyler Hartley is in third. He's maybe not what he wants, but it was such a quick light sequence, it certainly caught some people off guard.
Oh, absolutely. Sure, the race director just wanted to get the race back underway as quickly as possible. Of course, after that time we've lost under the red flag. And that was a very quick lights on, lights off to get things underway. But it is Taylor Tomlinson that leads the way. Once again, Sebastian GASLAWSKI in P2 on the back of Tomlinson. He's very close, as you can see. So that is perfect for Sebastian GASLAWSKI. As we can see, that's off the bike. It's that Tomlinson has gone down. So Tomlinson off the bike, coming through the penultimate corner. He's made a mistake somewhere. Bike's gone down into the wall, and Sebastian GASLAWSKI now leads this race. Drama here in race 1 of the Rookies AC40 class as your race leader. Taylor Tomlinson goes down after the red flag restart.
Yeah, that was not what he was wanting at all. Taylor Tomlinson, he didn't even have time to build that lead, so it's going to make the biggest damage possible. I mean, Taylor Tomlinson, tyres may have been a little bit cold, his mind may have not been up to speed just as much as we want to, so now it's put him down the order. He's dropped like an absolute stone. Taylor Tomlinson, of course, led the way, and it looks like he was going to do the same once again. So now Sebastian GASLAWSKI will be feeling like all his Christmases have just came at once. He is leading the race. You can hear the crowd, they're shouting, come on. They're absolutely buzzing for him. They're buzzing for what can be the sensational race now. Taylor Tomlinson just at the back of your picture now. He's down in 11th place. How much places can he make? Can he still get on the podium? Because we've seen what pace he had, and it was something that was, well, it was highly remarkable. So now Taylor Tomlinson is already up to 7th place with the fastest lap of the race. Can he get a podium, Ross?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. It's pretty clear his bike and his confidence haven't been damaged, so we'll just have to wait and see as he sets a 1 minute and 1 minute dead 0.366. GASLAWSKI though, well, now he's got the got to defend from Hartley like his life depends on it. We've got a firm race in our hands, and it's just unfortunate as well for Taylor Tomlinson. I mean, of course, you don't want to have an accident, but the two times you really don't want to have an accident is the first lap of the race because you lose so much time, and the last lap because you're right at the end. And it's unfortunately the first lap of the restart for Taylor Tomlinson, and as you said, he's down to 7th now. And now GASLAWSKI, we've seen Hartley having a look, coming out and into the final corner of last corner before. He's a little bit further away this time, but he's still following, perhaps trying to set a move up, coming into the middle part of the lap if you get a really good exit out of turn 1. But it is GASLAWSKI that is leading the way. Hayward in P3, Tomlinson up to P5 already. There's 5 seconds separating Tomlinson from first. There is 2 seconds separating him from a podium. That is very, very close. Taylor Tomlinson could be in for a very, very good result after that tumble hill. We'll just have to wait and see because the action is still all at the front. It is Sebastian GASLAWSKI leading the way from Taylor Hartley. These 2 young riders, GASLAWSKI already a race winner this year. Hartley hasn't stepped onto the top step of the podium. Imagine how much that would mean for that young man's career, for that young man's season, for him to get onto that top step, to take that race victory. Of course, you know, his critics will say that it's not really been legitimate with Tomlinson going down, but it doesn't matter how they come, it just matters that it comes. And Hartley's still putting that pressure on. He's a little bit closer to Tomlinson this time by as they head on. 2 laps to go here. It's still, though, GASLAWSKI leading this race.
Yeah, and it is, and Taylor Tomlinson is in the podium positions with a 59.4. Now that is an incredible lap time on such a small, underpowered motorcycle, and one that, well, it's highly impressive no matter what. He is not far off lap record. He's about a 10th off the lap record in this rookie class. So now GASLAWSKI still leads away, just 2 laps to go in this race. And one person, actually, I want to give a shout out to, is Mason FEDRICK. He is 15th right now, and it's his first ever motorcycle race in his life. I mean, I've been watching him and his family racing page on Facebook, and just see them develop. He was finally getting his knee down, and he's up into 15th place on his first ever race, which is a great result. He comes from a racing family. His dad Matthew also races, and he's been racing for many years, so I'm sure he's getting some great advice, just like a lot of these racers have. And some other great advice was Taylor Tomlinson. He's told himself just to keep cool because he knows he has the pace. Again, another 59, a 59.5 that time round. He's just 2.9 seconds off the race lead. Taylor Tomlinson, it's been a great race for him.
Oh, no way!
1 lap to go, and it appears that Tyler Hartley has taken the lead this race.
I don't believe it. Sebastian GASLAWSKI went the wrong way around the traffic. And there we see Tyler Hartley took the opportunity, swept up the inside and into the race lead on the final lap of the race. Taylor Tomlinson as well. He's lapping a second faster than this front two, and he's right on the back of them as well. It's a 3-way fight to the lead coming in to the final section. It's Hartley leading from GASLAWSKI. GASLAWSKI looking for the way through, but he's not going to be able to find it. I don't think. There they are in the background. It's going to be, I believe, Tyler Hartley who's going to win this race as they come through. I'm simply not sure. It's so close to the line. It's going to be a photo finish at the line. Who's it going to be?
GASLAWSKI.
It's GASLAWSKI at the line. Taylor Tomlinson gets into second. It is separating the 3 of them by 1.5 tenths of a second. I do not believe. What have we just seen in the AC40 Rookies there?
It was something special, to say the least. I mean, it had everything you want. It had drama, it had close racing, it had last lap overtakes, multiple last lap overtakes. But it's what we mentioned at the start of the race. Traffic comes into play, and traffic is an integral part of that race there. GASLAWSKI managed to get that back in the last lap, but his last lap was 3 seconds slower than second place. So it was a great result from Sebastian GASLAWSKI, and a great result from Tyler Hartley and Taylor Tomlinson, who takes second place after crashing out. There's nothing that anyone can say about that. That was an incredible ride.
That is perhaps the best rookies race I've ever seen. These young riders out there who've just put in a massive performance. That is absolutely unbelievable, and it is great to see there Sebastian GASLAWSKI getting lucky there at the end. But Taylor Tomlinson, I mean, what a performance. Your heart goes out to Tyler Hartley as well. Going from second to first to third in the final lap. Oh, your heart goes out. But what a finish. that we've just seen in the AC40 Rookies, hand on heart, these young riders out there have just put in an absolutely fantastic race. That was absolutely brilliant. What a performance we've just seen, and what a race one for the AC40 Rookies that we've seen here today. Absolutely brilliant action from all of them, and they've got, of course, more stuff to come from them two tomorrow, or them three rather, at the front tomorrow, and of course the two races that we got tomorrow for the AC40 Rookies. What a brilliant race that we've just seen. What a motor race between all the three, and what drama on the last lap. As Lewis was saying, that just shows the absolute, drama that the lap traffic can cause here. Absolutely unbelievable stuff. And well, what a race. And we've still got two more to enjoy from that class as well.
On the road to MotoGP, this is FAB-Racing.
Now it is time to look forward to what was potentially the most dramatic race one that we've possibly seen in a long time in FAB-Racing. The AC40 Rookies, a photo finish after lap traffic got involved. You had Taylor Tomlinson, tumbling down from the lead after he lost the rear of the bike coming through the penultimate corner and fighting his way up to second on the line. And as Sebastian GASLAWSKI and Tyler Hartley duked it out, I mean, I couldn't believe my eyes when it happened. It was possibly the craziest Centaur race that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it certainly was. It had everything that we did not expect, to be honest. Taylor Tomlinson crashing out with the lead, and he made an amazing recovery, really. He kept his cool, and it's great to see for such young riders, because obviously this is some of their first ever race meetings. And there is all the parents also having their own race, running out to the grids to give their kids one friendly face to see before the lights go out, and one final tip of advice, telling their kids maybe just to go fast or be safe, or just give them some handy tips that they may have seen them warm up and remind them on, really.
I think it's it's worth a shout out to the parents as they do, kind of run to wish their kids good luck. Is they also put in a lot of hard work. Yes, the riders, it's they've got to learn the craft. They're the ones out on track. But the parents, they give up a lot of time and money for these young guys to be out there. So they put in a lot along with the kids. It's a real family effort, and you get that family atmosphere here at FAB generally. But it individual, kind of families really putting a lot of effort and a lot of time, giving up weekends, and, giving up, doing normal family stuff to go and do mental family stuff on a racetrack. So it's great to see as Taylor Tomlinson leads the grid away on the warm-up lap. And, one warm-up lap as per normal here at FAB-Racing. Unless, of course, the race director decides against it. As Taylor Tomlinson goes from the pole position, he'll be looking to try and maintain that lead that he threw away yesterday with a simple yet harmful mistake. It shows just how easy it is to get it wrong on a Minimoto. Taylor Tomlinson goes from the pole position. Tyler Hartley alongside him. Seth HAYWARD is repeating. Sebastian GASLAWSKI, a disappointing qualifying for his standards. He starts in P4. Annabelle McCARTHY is P5 with Logan COUZENS in P6. Max Johnson and Kai HAWKEN make up the fourth row, and rounding up the top 10 is Preston BAKER and Nicolas DUNWOODY. That is your top 10 for the AC40 Rookies race, as they some of the riders coming round now to finish off their warm-up lap and now, set their eyes on the lights, get in the zone. Of course, this is the Rookies. This is, the first racing experience for many a young rider. And, these guys out there, some of them, this is only, some of them it might be their first race. I know it's not. Many of them, it's, their third round. Many of them have been racing it every round so far, and some of them, maintaining into the Rookies from previous seasons. However, it is still a very competitive championship, because not only is there, the competition on track, but there's also the competition to learn and improve as the racing goes on. Last few riders now coming into the grid slots. Last words of advice from the parents. There's a few thumbs up here and there, last words of advice, good luck and all that. Go be fast, don't crash, be safe, I love you, etc. from the parents. The flag marshal, the green flag waved, or getting ready to be waved at the back of the grid. As the front flag marshal, the red flag goes away, we look to the lights go on, and we've got a few jump starts. Oh, the entire grid has had a jump start. I'm a bit lost for words here, Lewis, because half the field has gone racing and half the field is still sat there. I'm not sure if one person went and they all went, or if there's been a miscommunication somehow, red flags being waved, because the lights are definitely still on.
Yeah, the lights never went out at all, and all riders now are making their way back to the grid. I'm not really sure what happened there. There's only 2 riders still on the front 3 rows, which is something very unusual to see. I think you can almost count how many riders are left on that grid with your hands, which is just something that's very, very unusual to see. Obviously, these riders are still learning, the rookies, so these things will happen eventually in their career, and it's a good place that happens so early on in their career, so it's a safe environment, and it can happen really now rather than later.
I mean, again, that's a valuable lesson from any of them. Don't go when your competitors go, because I bet you money that one person went and they all saw them and went, oh goodness me, we're going, and then they all went. You know, you got to keep your eyes on those lights. That's what matters, not what the other people are doing. It's all about what the lights do. And we're getting ready to restart the race. It will still be full distance race, of course, 8 laps for these young riders out there. Hopefully, no problems this time round. The flag marshal moves out of the way. Let's see what happens this time, shall we? Lights on for proper this time. Lights go out, no jump starts, and we're away. It's a great start from Taylor Tomlinson away. Sebastian GASLAWSKI, maybe not away as well as he would have hoped, but I believe he's still up into P2 as we continue further round. This time no jump starts, this time no accidents as well, so it's all clean away. Taylor Tomlinson once again leading the way.
Yeah, Sebastian GASLAWSKI made a great start into 2nd place. Can he make a move on Taylor Tomlinson before Taylor Tomlinson can get away? Because yesterday Taylor Tomlinson was the main problem of himself, really. He dumped it down the road and he was leading by a long way. In the background there's another crash there from a rider. It looks like Seth HAYWARD, and it looks okay remount on the motorcycle, which is what we love to see, but it's Taylor Tomlinson who leads the way. It's something that this season it's not been unusual to see. He's won 5 out of 6 races in the first 2 rounds, and here at round 3 he's looking as strong as ever and as confident as ever. And yesterday, even though he did crash, it looked like it didn't knock his confidence at all, which is great to see for such a young rider.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, got back on the bike, no damage, and managed to squeeze through and get 2nd on the line. Great to see. I'm just wondering, I believe he may be having a transponder issue because he's not showing up on our live time, so hopefully that's just a problem. He hasn't forgotten to put it on the bike. So if you forget to put the transponder on the bike, you get disqualified. I know he's turned up now, so Taylor Tomlinson, seemingly an issue, but it's all good now. So Taylor Tomlinson is now classified as being in the race, so that's all good. He leads the way from Sebastian GASLAWSKI in P2, Tyler Hartley in P3. There were your podium finishes yesterday. Sebastian GASLAWSKI, of course, the only other rider to win a race so far this season in the AC40 Rookies. He's won 2 now, hasn't he? He won yesterday in race 1 as well. But I mean, Taylor Tomlinson, I mean, obviously, he's a very, special talent in this field. He's so long, but part of the reason, he probably looks, it seems like he's absolutely dominant, but again, part of that's because a lot of these riders are still learning. Some riders just come in and they're able just to grasp it so much quicker, or they've spent a lot more time on the bike just not racing. And whatever the case may be for Taylor Tomlinson, he is a step ahead of the other riders at the moment with 6 laps to go. He leads the way, sets a 1 minute and 1/10 lap time that time round. Not quite a lap record, still a little bit off of what Finlay Polehill set in 2020, about 8/10 off of the lap record. But Taylor Tomlinson getting his eyes set ahead. Of course, we know the Minimoto's not quite on lap record pace this weekend. It may be hot, but it's also windy, and so it's harder for the Minimotos when it's hot, because they overtake the highs so quickly in the wind as well. It's not ideal when you're on a little bike.
No, it's certainly not, but this is an ideal scenario for Taylor Tomlinson. 1.6 second lead with just 6 laps to go. This race comes past so quick, and Taylor Tomlinson knows how to control a race. He's learned that from the first couple of rounds, but it's Sebastian GASLAWSKI who has problems on his hand. I mean, Tyler Hartley is absolutely on his rear of his motorcycle, just nothing separating this time round. He's practically glued to his back wheel, and there's just 5 laps to go as they cross the line. He's going to be wanting to try and find a way past, but on these smaller bikes it's slightly easier to get past, and this is such a tight track. But Taylor Tomlinson coming across the line and into the 59s. He's just 6/10 off the lap record now, and there's nothing separating Sebastian GASLAWSKI and Tyler Hartley, less than half a second at the moment. And you can just see taking 2 completely different lines there. Tyler Hartley just taking the wider line, trying to get a far more sweeping line and just try carry more corner speed, because these bikes, they don't have a lot of top end power, but obviously these riders are only 6 years old, so 45 mile per hour is plenty of speed, but taking different lines to try carry more corner speed can be absolutely crucial for these riders.
Yeah, it can be. Taylor Tomlinson still in the way. GASLAWSKI having problems behind. Tyler Hartley putting the pressure on. He managed to take the lead on the last lap of the race, and then on the line went from 1st to 3rd. So, while it was still a podium, heartbreak there for the young man. He'll be looking to maybe not get a 2nd, 3rd this weekend. I'm sure he'll be looking, to challenge GASLAWSKI for at least second, maybe, try and get up to Tomlinson as well. 4 laps to go this time by in the race 2 of the AC40 Rookies here at round 3 of the FAB-Racing British Minibike Championship. Hello, if you are just joining us, it's a pleasure to bring you on to sunny Suffolk here and the Ellough Park Raceway, and round 3 of the championship here, much earlier in the season than we're normally at Ellough, which explains all the lap records and the nice weather that we're suddenly getting. I mean, a few years ago, absolute torrential rain when we came here. Now the sun is shining and the atmosphere in the booming crowd is up, as we always have here at FAB. It is a pleasure to bring you along for this journey. And here we can see further back, we've got some action as well, challenging for positions. I believe that's Nicolas DUNWOODY and Annabelle McCARTHY fighting for that's P6. And they're fighting over, and Annabelle managed to squeeze past Nicolas on that last lap and get into that 6th place. And of course, Annabelle, one of the many talented female young riders that I always mention that we're seeing here at FAB. I mean, again, it's great to see a championship where we see so many young female riders coming through, and so many young female riders having a place they could call almost like a home and a real family community here at FAB that we have. And it's great to see Annabelle McCartHy really putting on a good display there. Looking ahead though, once again, Taylor Tomlinson extending the gap almost 5 seconds now back to Sebastian GASLAWSKI. But again, yesterday we saw him, it was only the last few laps of the race when he went down, and that changed things on its head.
Yeah, it certainly did. And Taylor Tomlinson, I believe he is slightly older than Sebastian, but they have a bit similar time on the bike. So maybe Sebastian, his mind just may be a bit more scientific, as you would say, and just wants to spend a bit more time learning the bike, learning the track, while Taylor Tomlinson just goes straight for it. And that is why he has a 4.7 second gap, almost 5 seconds. And this time round, it probably will be 5 seconds, just 3 laps to go. So just 3 laps to go in this race. They head round the final corner now. Taylor Tomlinson, just to make it 2 laps to go in this race. Can he keep hold of his race win? Can he do it? It's a 59.7, getting even closer to the lap record now. The lap record obviously being a 59.313. So it's not too far off. We're seeing lap times coming down far faster than yesterday, it's looking. So just 2 laps to go. Can the lap record go? And can he extend his gap? It's now 7.3 seconds.
Well, he's got 1.5 laps really left to do it, and there's a bit of traffic coming up as well, not too far ahead of Taylor Tomlinson, so he's got to get the conditions perfect, get the lines perfect, and then hopefully not catch traffic. And can he do it? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see as he comes around this tricky back section. I know on a very popular circuit, that is not a very popular section, and potentially won't be seeing as much for next year. Of course, here at Ellough Park, they've got the new track layout. We're not using that this year, but next year, very much potential for us to use that big bank section you're just seeing in the back end of your shot as Tomlinson rounds the final corner and starts the final lap of the race. The yellow and black striped flag out for Tomlinson, so he knows that he's only got one more tour of this Ellough Park circuit left to go before he wins the second race of the weekend. 2 from 2 it will be for the young man who is, it's safe to say, has dominated so far this season. He has been just absolutely turned on. He turns up to a new track and just, is instantly on the pace. He instantly knows, and it's, potentially we could be seeing, Taylor Tomlinson. We could be seeing any of these riders, moving on, to international level motorsport in the future. And that is what's so wonderful about FAB, is you get to see these young riders, start their career and develop, and become the superstars of tomorrow.
And yeah, you certainly can, and you can watch their careers live all the way through the ranks, starting all the way to FAB, to the likes of MotoGP. Even people at home can watch them live and watch them develop as Taylor Tomlinson comes round the final couple of corners, through the penultimate corner, as we head round to the right, to the last corner. He gets himself tucked in as he takes the checker flag to take another dominant win from Sebastian GASLAWSKI. Taylor Tomlinson played it perfect. Yesterday it was not what he was wanting to do. It was a lot more work for himself, but today an absolute masterclass, and it's a 9.6 second win from Sebastian GASLAWSKI. Tyler Hartley coming home in 3rd place. It was the gap slightly widened between them and Sebastian GASLAWSKI, but it was an amazing fight for 2nd place, and it was an amazing win from Taylor Tomlinson. It's exactly what we want to see from these young riders. Yeah, absolutely. Taylor Tomlinson, a very nice performance, and pulling off a bit of acrobatics there for the crowd and for the cameras. Obviously delighted with that win that he feels like he should have got yesterday as well, were for not a small yet costly mistake late on in the race. Again, just showing how easy it is to get it wrong and throw it all away here
in Motorsport, which is a real shame for him. But he manages to win race 2 from Sebastian GASLAWSKI. Tyler Hartley rounding out the podium in P3. Josh Perkins is in P4. Annabelle McCARTHY managed to get up to P5 at the end with Nicolas DUNWOODY in P6. Logan COUZENS is in P7. Max Johnson P8, and then Daisy Polden and Preston Baker rounding out the top 10. As we see there, your race winner, Taylor Tomlinson, exchanged some words and letting a friend have a go on his motorcycle. It's great to see this real sense of friendship here from such a young age, and it is great to see. And a great race there for Taylor Tomlinson once again. Well then, race 3 for the AC40 Rookies. We've had 2 brilliant races so far in this class, where on paper it's all about, learning the very fundamentals of motorsport and motorcycle racing. However, it's safe to say that they have absolutely delivered here at round 3 of the FAB-Racing British Minibike Championship here at Ellough Park in Suffolk, the home of East Anglia karting. And it has been a delight to watch these young riders out there put in phenomenal performances. I mean, we had a photo finish in race 1. I don't need to say anything else. The back markers getting involved, a photo finish to enjoy. And, these Minimoto riders, it's a big, tough physical circuit. These guys are the youngest in the paddock. You can be as young as 6 and enter into this Rookies grid, the FAB-Racing Rookies Cup, as it's known. And many a young rider has made their start in this championship and gone on to achieve massive things. Of course, FAB-Racing is the, it's the home of, British, young riders. It's where you go to start your motorcycle racing career. Of course, many riders, go on to be, partake in BSB and WSBK and, MotoGP, of course, who are the official partner series to the Bennett's British Superbike Championship and a part of Dorna's Road to MotoGP. And if you want to go to the British Talent Cup, the springboard for many a young rider's career, this is the place to go. And, as these young riders, some of them who are at different stages of learning, get going. Of course, Taylor Tomlinson on the pole position. He is one to watch out for. Unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to have Ethan Tomlinson in this race. That's unfortunate to hear. But Taylor Tomlinson will be. Ethan BAYLISS won't be here. But Taylor Tomlinson will be the one leading them from pole position. And he's obviously one to watch. He's one obviously had a fall in the first race from the lead. Managed to nab second in that photo finish from Tyler Hartley, who starts from P2. Meanwhile, Sebastian GASLAWSKI, a rider, he'll be disappointed with his qualifying, starting from P4. Those 3 have been forces to be reckoned with this weekend. And, we'll just have to wait and see, Lewis, what they can do coming forward. I mean, Taylor Tomlinson obviously had that fall in race 1, but a massive comeback ride, and again in race 2, brilliant stuff from him that we've been seeing all season.
Yeah, Taylor Tomlinson's just looking so great this weekend, and he's looked that all season, to be honest. Sebastian GASLAWSKI had a pretty good start in the rerun of race 2, obviously, because we did have the issue with the start on the first race today. But Taylor Tomlinson, he's kept his cool. Even whenever he crashed, he managed to keep his cool. And it's so great to see for these rookie riders. I mean, some of these riders, majority of them is about their 3rd race weekend, but some of them it's their 1st. So it's great having so much different levels here, and it's really a championship that is the main focus for the future, because these are the riders of the future. 6-year-old already racing motorcycles, and these are the riders that in 10 years time we're going to be watching our TV screens like you guys are at home today.
Exactly. Green flag goes up at the back of the grid. We're ready to go racing for race 3, round 3. Red light goes on, red light goes off for the rookies. It's a great start from Taylor Tomlinson. Sebastian GASLAWSKI also away well. But Tomlinson is the one who leads them into turn 1. He's being followed. I believe that's HAWKEN actually alongside him there. And it's Sebastian GASLAWSKI from 4th to 2nd now in P2 on that 64 machine. A great start from him. He's been quick all weekend long, but this is the boy who has been dominating the championship so far, Taylor Tomlinson. He resumes the lead and already starting to bridge a bit of a gap to GASLAWSKI behind, but further behind them as well, I believe, is HAWKEN, who's managed to slide into P3. Great stuff there from him. And as we come into the back section of the circuit, you can just see with this static shot just how fast these mini motors are. I mean, even for riders as young as 6, these things can hit 48 miles an hour in the rookies category. These things are fast, and they are meant to be feared as well. They're fierce little bikes. Obviously not exactly reliable, as you'll have seen all weekend long, but also they are punishing. They are proper motorcycles. If you make a mistake, you're on the floor.
Yeah, exactly, and it teaches them exactly everything they need to learn, really, with their general riding styles. I mean, you could just see them getting their knee down already, which is so great to see for these 6, 7, 8-year-olds. Already got their knee down flat on the floor, which can sometimes take some riders a lot of time to do, and they just have the confidence to be able to just get a knee down already. And that's just from the great tradition that we have here at FAB and all the Minimoto schools that really teach these riders everything. Of course, Seth HAYWARD currently in 4th place on your screen right there, number 15 with the blue bike. He had a crash earlier on today and remounted and finished 12th, I believe, which is a pretty respectable result from him after crashing. But all eyes this weekend have been on Taylor Tomlinson. It's hard not to look past him. I mean, 7 out of 8 race wins so far, and he looks like he's trying to make it a 9th. It is so great to see such a young rider with so much confidence leading the way and do it in such a dominant fashion. I mean, although he did crash, he made a great comeback, and now in this race it's not affected his confidence cruelly because he set a fast lap of the race and has a 1.7 second lead.
Yeah, only rider to be lapping sub-minute laps of 59.899 for Taylor Tomlinson. That's the closest we've been to the lap record that was set by Finley Polehill in 2020. Still about 5/10 off, but of course it's a bit warmer than it was back then. Of course, we used to come to Ellough around about October time. Now we're here in June. Temperatures are up. These Minimotos, their little tyres, not entirely sure they can handle the heat. It's very easy to overheat those things, so grip maybe not quite there. Of course, we've seen the bigger bikes, the bikes where you've got to put the work in, you've got to physically manhandle them anyway, and then you get to Ellough, which is a very physical track. It's warm, it's grippy. They've been absolutely flying. The Minimotos, it's taken them a little bit of time to kind of get up to the speed that they were at in the colder conditions than maybe Taylor Tomlinson. Well, I'm sure he'd love a lap record to his name, wouldn't he? We'll have to wait and see what he can do. 6 laps left here in the AC40 Rookies Race 3. And Taylor Tomlinson leading the way. Now 5 laps to go. Not as quick this time by, so he's got a bit of work to do if he wants to get that track record, but already the gap 3.5 seconds to Sebastian GASLAWSKI. Behind GASLAWSKI, Tyler Hartley actually trying to have a little bit of a look. He was robbed of what he thinks was a race win in race 1. Of course, that photo finish, he managed to get past GASLAWSKI on the last lap, and then Tomlinson coming along as they all met up with back markers coming through into the start-finish straight. They went from 1st to 3rd. That's got a sting. And Tyler Hartley, I'm sure that he'll be looking for a better result than 3rd at least once this weekend. 2nd as well within his sights. We've just got to get past Sebastian GASLAWSKI first, who's been a formidable rider so far this season. One of the only others, actually no, the only other rider than Taylor Tomlinson to take a race victory. Took a race victory in, I believe it was race 1 at Lid, round 1 of the season, and also, of course, race 1 here early this weekend as well. And, we've got to see what Hartley can do if he wants to make his way through.
Yeah, I mean, this is turning to be a great battle for 2nd place right now. Taylor Hartley's been on all weekend. You've just been seeing them putting in the laps, being up front, and it's great to see some other riders up front. Another rider who has impressed this weekend is Annabelle McCARTHY. She's in 8th place right now. We've seen her even higher this weekend. She's been running great at this Ellough Park circuit, and it's great to see some female riders just coming further and further up the results page. But it looks like Taylor Hartley is on the back trying to find the way on the left and then on the right of Sebastian GASLAWSKI. But now we're at the point where back markers are starting to come into play, and we've seen it in race 2. In race 1, back markers affect everything. I mean, it just depends when you hit them. We've said it so many times this weekend, but it's what's deciding some of these races is back markers and when they've been hitting them and how they've managed to get around them, because you have to learn from quite a young age that although someone is in front of you and blue flags are out, you still have to find a suitable way to get past and not get too frustrated by it. But it was like Taylor Hartley almost found a way past there coming out of the hairpin, but it is still Taylor Tomlinson who leads the way, and leads the way in such a dominant fashion, actually, that the gap now is up to 5.5 seconds. It looks like there's nothing stopping him but himself. But we have seen this weekend that he has stopped himself and almost cost himself valuable championship points.
Yeah, we've got some bike markers getting involved here. Once again, as you said, you just got to catch them in the right place if you want to, stay competitive during the racing. It's just pure luck. Of course, no blue flag rules here at FAB-Racing. as a backmarker, you have no obligation to move out of the way if you're getting a lap. They've got to find their way around you. I saw Taylor Tomlinson out of the commentary box window a few moments ago, just barging his way through, coming into the Wones hairpin. I mean, that was one way to do it, just send it up the inside and shove him out of the way. And aggressive riding from such a young man, that's something to look out for in the future. He could be a force to be reckoned with as he gets older, bashing his way through the pack and overtaking left, right and centre. But you just got to deal with him. And this is what we're seeing on the screen here, is just a few of the faster riders getting past some of the more inexperienced riders that we get here in the Rookies grid. Of course, it is the rookies. These guys are, it's their first time motorcycle racing, and everybody learns at different rates. And some of these guys, they're slower learners than others. Some of them, it might be their first round of the season. And some of them, it is tough. And guys like Taylor Tomlinson who have just turned up and have just got it like straight away. And some people don't work with that, and it takes some time to adapt to the bike and learn all the techniques of motor racing. Not all of us are born on a diet of MotoGP and World Superbikes and BSB and FAB-Racing, of course. You come into it, you've got to take time to learn the styles and understand the physics and the racecraft. And it's a lot for their young little minds to wrap around, And obviously, it's the fastest sport in the world, going 48 miles an hour on these little mini motos. It's a big job, and Taylor Tomlinson, he's just absolutely got it.
Yeah, he certainly does, and he's looking so confident. He's looking at one with the motorcycle. And one thing that is important whenever you're learning to ride a bike and ride a motorcycle is just to find your own style, not just copy everyone around you. It's like a mix of everyone around you. It's your own style. But there's the last lap flag out. He had a look out at the marshal to try and see if the last lap flag was out. He's just almost too quick for the marshals and for the marshals to wave the flag out. He's too quick for everyone else because it's a 7.3 second lead going into this last lap. What a ride it's been so far from Taylor Tomlinson. He just needs to make it around this last half a lap, just confidently get him round. He's about to go on the curve there, using all of the track basically possible, which is so good to see that he has so much confidence. He has complete trust in the bike. He knows the bike will go where he wants it to go, and that's exactly what's happened. And as you can see, the last lap on the last race of the weekend for the AC40 Rookies, Taylor Tomlinson is absolutely buzzing. He's already celebrating slightly as he comes around the hairpin. He knows he's got it in the bag. He was trying to almost pull a little wheel there, try lift up the front end, but no one can stop him, not even himself. Taylor Tomlinson takes the race when the checker flag will be out, and he's dancing coming across the line. What a race went from him in a dominant fashion is what we've seen pretty much all weekend. He's been at one step and then in the different postcode from everyone else. A 7.2 second lead over Sebastian GASLAWSKI and Tyler Hartley coming home in third place with an 8 second away from the race win. What a race from Tomlinson, and it's exactly what we're probably going to see for the rest of the season.
Another dominant performance for the number 77 Taylor Tomlinson. The young man is such a talent. He's been so fantastic all season long. The only time he hasn't finished on the top step of the podium is when there's been a problem. Either he's come off the bike or the bike's had an issue. He is just a mercurial talent at such a young age, and I think it's safe to say you can pick that boy for big things in the future. A fantastic result, but of course don't let that take away from GASLAWSKI and Hartley as well, running at the podium. They've been in the mix all weekend as well, with a brilliant result for those two. But it is Taylor Tomlinson that takes the race win once again. Sebastian GASLAWSKI manages to finish in P2 with Tyler Hartley in at P3. Seth HAYWARD finishes in P4 with Josh Perkins in P5. Kai HAWKEN was P6 and Annabelle McCARTHY in 7th. Logan COUZENS was 8th with Preston BAKER and Nicolas DUNWOODY rounding out the top 10. But again, what a result for Taylor Tomlinson. The boy is talented.
Yes, he certainly is. I mean, it's so impressive to see. And keep in mind, these riders are only 6, 7, 8-year-old, and then they're doing this. They've already got so much confidence in their bike, and it's really the talents of the future that you're watching right there. It's the big names of the future. These are the riders that are going to go on to win many races in their lifetime. And yeah, it's just great to see, and it's great to see also just the mix of riders. We have a lot more girls now coming through the ranks, and that's certainly notable in the Rookies, and we're just waiting for the final riders to come back into pit lane.
Yep. What a race we've just seen. What a weekend's worth of racing in the AC40 Rookies, and the experience for those young riders. And again, just a fantastic weekend for Taylor Tomlinson, but everyone else as well. Brilliant stuff.